here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time in the form of a post-game commentary as Ivern Jungle. So you may be wondering, why Ivern? Well, the thing is, Ardent Sensor has been nerfed, but it's still extremely broken, and we have a Leona for our support. As such, we will not have the Ardent Sensor synergy otherwise, so someone needs to kind of fill in that void. Otherwise, we were going to, well, the AD carry is going to be Jinx. So you can see the enemy team has a Yasuo, that's going to be the mid lane, I believe. I'm really glad the Yasuo was on my side, and over the course of the game, you may realize why a lot of people don't like him if you aren't already aware. So, enemy team has Vayne, she has Tank Buster properties. As such, that makes the whole Ivern pick not nearly as bad, because I'm not going to be tanky, so I just have to worry about her crits. I can get like a Randuin's Omen, and that will give me the best blend of defensive stats possible. So anyway, there's the Jinx. Overall, Leona Jinx does not really have a very strong synergy. Jinx will hit a power spike before Vayne though, and then the two of them can actually start to get their combos off. This is similar to the Blitzcrank game I did a couple weeks ago where I was with a Jinx against a Kog'Maw, and I don't remember if it was like level 4 or 5 we were able to start killing them. And the thing about Leona is she wants to go in at level 3. As soon as she has all 3 of her moves, she's aiming for the back line generally. Unless you have her pushing a tower, or your Alistar and you can just knock her away if she steps out of line. So anyway, enemy team has locked in Vi, so I do have to worry about lockdown, which is why the Ivern shield's going to be even more valuable. So you'll see in team fights that when Vi ults Jinx, I can put the shield on to absorb some of the punishment, and it's not nearly as bad. So right here I'm going for my Wind Speakers page, and we're going to take the Chaser page, which has movement speed quints. It's basically attack speed reds, armor yellows, scaling, well, to be absolutely precise, you can see the rune page here, or the mastery page, I mean. The rune page is 8 attack speed reds, 1 crit red, you can read it right there, scaling armor yellows, scaling armor blues, and movement speed quints. Since Ivern can counter jungle people to hell and back, I really do find that movement speed to be extremely valuable. Basically, each movement speed quint is, I believe, like, yeah, it should come out to be 5% movement, or 5 points of movement speed when rounded up. It's going to be 4.7 something, I believe, which I just generally round up to 5. So this is my first time seeing Honor Mastery level 5. That's what the Jarvan has there, in case you're wondering. He is running Thunderlords, so that tells you he's going for the AD Assassin build. For Renekton, on the other hand, he's running Fervor and Ignite, so he wants to try to cheese Jarvan early, unaware that he can get cheesed just as easily. So right there, Zyra, you can see she has Ignite and Thunderlords. I've been trying to figure out if there's a way to get Zyra to actually work in the bot lane these days. The main thing is, all of the mana regen items are tied into, like, defensive stuff, while Zyra is an offensive support. So she's in the same boat as Brand and a couple others. Annie would be one too. Like if they go for what's it? Chalice, not Chalice, Athene's Unholy Grail. They can't actually get the heal out of it since they don't actually have a heal themselves. You would have to go for Stoneborn Pact in order to actually get that to cash out, I think, but I'm not 100% sure if that's even how that works. So right there I'm trying to notify Jarvan, Renekton has Ignite. Grabbing the mana item even though it really doesn't matter. Well, I guess the mana does help you a little bit more because you don't auto-attack anything, so you can't use the lifesteal from the machete, so. The main thing is, as long as you have one of them, you can then just get the bonus EXP from the camps and stay relevant. If you do not start with a jungle item, your level 1 clear will not actually give you level 2, no matter what you start. So right here, Jarvan's going in real early to get some vision, and I was tempted to do this as a replay because Vi, I don't know if she's screwing around somewhere, but she arrives just as I take the red buff, and Vayne takes her blue buff. So I'm not entirely sure what happens, but she gets really screwed early. thing is, she always does have the option to rush towards 6. There's the whole rebound, EXP, or whatever you want to call it, from the jungle that will actually put her back into the game, even though something that devastating should take her out. So right there, Jarvan's asking, and the thing about Ivern is you want to drop your grove so that it can mature while you're walking, go steal the red, and then come back and collect the grove. Then basically you just have to go down the line, set up all your groves, recall, then go back top and work your way down, and that's your clear on Ivern. As for what you start with, I like to start with Q just in case the enemy catches me in the invade. That way I can just root them for 1 second and make my getaway. It actually might be 1.2, I'm not 100% sure on that. And I believe you'll actually see me do this divide just so I can kind of demonstrate how this works. Ivern, I don't know if he's actually making a comeback. I haven't really looked at play rates lately. So as soon as I smite this, there's Vi.
What the ducks are plotting today.
Ah, I thought I rooted her. Oh well. So the main thing is, whichever one you don't take at 1, you take at 2, and right there I'm notifying the team that she's on the top side, so yeah. So right there we have both buffs, and as a result Vi gets no buffs on this start. So one of the things that kind of sucks early is that your groves are so damn expensive. You can see that it's going to take 10 seconds without the potion for that to heal up. So I go ahead and pop the potion so I can just try to get some more regen. So right there I can see that the Vayne has the blue buff. In order to set this up, see me down the potion. And then I think I can get enough health after smiting this that I can go actually set up the golem camp. As for what you max, I like going for the Q because I'm just a fan of CC. For the shield, you don't really get a lot out of that until you actually have some items, and then once I have those items, I will change gears, so don't worry.
I hope I don't outgrow these.
So grabbing some boots so I can run around more often, maybe get some more shenanigans down, as well as a pink ward, because if we can see Vi coming, she's a lot less scary. So Syndra looks like she's in a bad spot, but believe me, she has this all under control. See?
Return to your pond, Grom.
But generally on Ivern, I don't really gank until level 4.
Thank you, dear wolves.
Part of the reason for that being is just to maximize your gold income. If you notice when I recalled, I had very little because I actually only took 3 camps. It wasn't until I took the raptors and everything there that I'm actually starting to get some gold numbers here. And sadly, there's literally nothing I can do for them. So I want to hit her for a bandit gold, and trying to force her into a situation where she'd have to recall. But unfortunately, Zyra is there, so that kind of sucked. So anyway, that one despawns, but I can go ahead and grove the other ones. Since the big one isn't there, I actually don't have to pay the health cost. So right there, I was wondering if they're going to loop back in. But anyway, I now have a little bit of gold to actually go around and stir up some trouble.
I should go swimming later.
So you can see Vi is looking for my jungle camps.
What shall I do?
And right there, we just disabled his, crud, what's his passive called? Well, his windshield thing is gone. That's the key thing. He has to run around a bit to regen it. And overall, there's not really much I can do until Syndra has her ult right there.
Only in conversation.
Since Vi got the bottom one, I can go ahead and take the top one. And he's not behind his wall anymore. So yeah, that support gank, eh? So I managed to collect a kill off Yasuo, but I'm not running Bounty Hunter. I'm 0, 18, 12, if you don't remember. So, killing doesn't really help me much. I'm more about
All the
utility
gold. I
stuff.
really don't need it.
So right there, in case you're wondering why I got the chalice, if you look at the health regen, this will actually give me some sort of healing. The health regen itself scales off the bonus mana, which is why I picked up the pair of fairy charms afterwards. And right there you can see my health regen has now doubled, and it goes even higher when I'm in the jungle itself because of the jungle item activating. I really do believe this is necessary in order to make it so that Ivern can clear somewhat safely.
Everything is connected in the strangest way.
And until some gank opportunities line up, you may as well just go set up your groves. And hopefully it's a little obvious why I go for a refillable on him, since you really do get your money's worth with it. And that kind of sucked. He had the E up. So yeah, he gets away by the skin of his teeth, I'm afraid. I did shield Syndra there just so I could try to pick up the assist. So you can see she got the kill anyway. I don't know if he went back in or what, but it was too late for me to get the assist off of that. Thing is, by taking Vi's red, I am now level 5. So I can go ahead and take the blue buff as well as give the copy of the blue to Syndra. So in case you're not familiar with how Ivern works, let's explain. Your passive is Friend of the Forest or something like that. The thing is, you cannot attack jungle camps. You can attack the neutral monsters, Rift Herald, Baron, Dragon, the like. But the thing is, you can't hit these small things. You create groves instead, and after the groves mature, you can instantly clear them for just the gold and everything else that's part of it. Now, the secondary effect of your passive is once you hit level 5, you then generate copies of the buffs that you leave behind for a teammate to pick up. So you can give red buff to a teammate, preferably your AD carry.
I'll be back soon.
Blue buff to the mid laner, and so on. And then that's not only restricted to your camps, you can do that to the enemy camps, so you'll see us do later on when I invade. Well, let's face it, if you're playing Ivern, you're going to do some hardcore invading, period.
Sprint like a snail, and you will never. So this is how.
So sadly, Daisy did not last that long, but we did manage to save
I
Syndra.
love how the grass is fluffy on my toes.
One thing to keep in mind for all of this is she didn't have her ult, she just got it. Had that come up, we might have been able to kill someone. But still, my job is protecting. I'm a bodyguard here. So that is by no means a bad thing to me. However, when she goes and gets herself killed afterwards,
Now, where
that
did
changes
I leave
things
my
somewhat.
boots? Fly alone now. Danger is nigh. Be peaceful, I'll be back.
So keep in mind, most mid laners can still use the red buff also. In case you're wondering, for someone like Syndra,
Bring it in for us.
the auto attack slow component of the red buff will make it easier for her to land her skill shots. This is also pretty helpful for if you're going to do an Ezreal mid gimmick thing, or if you're going to do Lux, or quite a few. So do not underestimate the value of giving the blue buff or the red buff to your mid laner. So right here we're kind of hoping they'll come a little closer. And it's showtime. So right there I shielded Leona because she's the one taking the brunt of the attack. So I think if I didn't shield her, she might have actually died there. You have to keep in mind I still do only have the level 1 shield. But it's still something. I mean, I am running Windspeaker, so the person I cast that on does get defensive stats too, which makes the artificial hit points a little bit more valuable. And they're laying into the bot tower, so I decided, you know what, I can try to cover mid. Ivern doesn't really have a lot of damage, but your W does give you additional damage when you are trying to, well, when you are attacking from brush. So right there we got her flash. Right there, I'm marking her so she can't hide. And yeah, that just happened. So anyway, once Daisy is down, I want Dragon. She can tank for us, and we will pretty much all be well. And then, like I said, you want to attack from brush, so pop that up and you deal a little bit of extra magic damage on your auto attack. So keep in mind, Jarvan just got a lot scarier with that AD multiplier. Now, I think that's the only Infernal Dragon for this game, so getting that really does put us in a much better position, especially since we do have a hyper carry of our own to use. Now, as for the Chalice, I want to leave it there for the most part. The reason for that being is I have the health regen already, so I may as well go for other stats that are going to help further my team's power, primarily Ardent Sensor.
Bye, Daisy.
I definitely have to agree with everyone who says the item is overpowered. Oh no, there's another Infernal coming up. Okay, that's really bad news for the enemy team. Ardent Sensor is still really overpowered. I mean, it's one, like, the big red flag for all this to me is if Trundle and other guys are using the Ardent Sensor with Stoneborn Pact, that should tell you something's up. And unfortunately I just made so I couldn't get that one. So right there we can see that the Scryer was used. That's the end of my pink ward, I'm afraid. But I don't have to worry about Vi taking this because I can always just insta-clear it like that. Right here I'm looking for Vi herself. And they know I'm coming, so I can't really do too much for Renekton. I'm mainly looking around here for pink wards. And then if the opportunity does present itself, by all means set up your groves.
Hello. I'm having another
So one thing I have to point out is if you remember the the Chalice gives you health regen based off of your mana, so that does count the blue buff. That's why I heal for so much so quickly. And like I said, if you're in the jungle, your jungle item even adds even further to that.
I find that the stranger life form
So I didn't mean to take the Renekton kill, but that's one of the downsides to maxing Q. Sadly right here, there's no way for me to escape Vayne. For me to have actually made it, I need to get into the brush and break vision, then I could flash the wall, but there's no point in wasting a summoner or anything. So right there we now have the Ardent Sensor. As for boots, generally Lucidity are nice if you want to counter jungle someone even more, because that does give you summoner spell cooldown, so you have smite up more often. It's just this game, I think I'm going to need to get close to people. I have to move around a Yasuo Wind Wall, maybe move around a Jarvan Cataclysm, and I'm thinking I need the raw speed of the Boots of Swiftness more. So in case you're wondering, that is my line of thinking. But anyway, now that I have the Ardent Sensor, I now have the extra multiplier on my shield. As such, I want to start maxing that. So if you notice, that's why it's at 3 points, even though my Q is only at 4. So right here, I knew they were going to get themselves killed. I wanted to make it up here to try to save them, but unfortunately I can't do it. And the thing is, choices like that are what is putting them back into the game. If my team were actually willing to play a little bit safer, this would probably be ending in the next few minutes. So basically with the Ardent Sensor, as soon as Leona picks off someone, I just buff Jinx, and then Jinx kills stuff, and then we take towers. And Jinx takes them pretty quickly on her own, but Ardent Sensor makes it all the more worse. So right there I gave the red buff to Jarvan. And I was kind of hoping he'd help me double team Renekton, but he doesn't follow through. He gets Yasuo though, so I can forgive him. So right there I stop Zyra. My support has arrived, but keep in mind this is basically 2 supports against a carry. So you get some good tower damage down on Renekton. Right there giving the attack speed to Jarvan. Vi goes down. And there's Vayne to clean up. So unfortunately that's the entire game. Whenever something... Right there she wasted flash. You cannot outrun Vayne. So their entire strategy is, hey, we're going to get Vayne fed by just cleaning up. And the thing is, we just need to group. That way if she shows up, she dies. It's really that simple. The thing is, for some reason our AD carry is off split pushing, when that's like the absolute worst thing for an AD carry to do, but for some reason they all do it these days. So right here I'm waiting for the gold to get my crystalline bracer. And right here I misclicked. I wanted to put the shield on Jarvan so that if he goes and kills someone, I can get it. 1, I get an assist, and 2, he actually does have attack speed to run someone down. So keep in mind, had that worked, I would have gotten an assist right there. I would have gotten part of the shutdown gold. And yeah. So anyway, with Vayne down, that means we're greenlit to go take the dragon. I can't really solo it, but if I had Daisy I could. It'd still take forever and a day, so I would like a little bit of help. So right here I am smiting that because it'll give it to us instantly, and my smite will be back up by the time the dragon's up. So that is a very worthwhile investment. So we got thrown to the opposite side of the wall, but I landed my Q, so I get the assist. So right here I was kind of hoping Jinx would tank that because she would heal from the Ardent sensor, and she'd kill it more quickly just due to having the attack speed and everything. So, I'm not entirely sure what Jarvan was really hoping to accomplish screwing around in the jungle, but we finally do manage to get the Vayne kill. You can see I get assists off of 2 of them because of Jinx. And really, that was a little too gung-ho of him, to be really honest. We would have been a lot better off if he had not done that. So anyway, the next order of business is finishing my Athene's Unholy Grail so I can give more healing to the team. Plus it does give me CDR, and then it has the effect of turning mana regen into AP, so my shield will actually be even bigger. So you can see I don't have to be the one to take the camp. As long as a teammate takes it, it'll leave something behind, but unfortunately the blue buff there did just time out, so I couldn't get it. So the next order of business is maxing my Q and my E. That way the root duration will last longest, and the shield will have the maximum effectiveness. So you can see Syndra did get that. There's a marker on my map telling me, hey, this is up. If you get over there, you can get it yourself. And with all the health regen I have, I'm really fine setting up those groves. I think Jarvan's trying to get it, but he doesn't know it's only me. So down goes Vi.
I'm having another eye-opening.
And top tower has finally fallen at the 20-minute mark. So right here I go around to try to pincer them this way, or at the very least get some vision so we know which way they're going. Yasuo tries to be sneaky. I just drop my shield. And like that I get an assist. So you can see the Super Mega Death Rocket whiz by.
Go in peace, friend.
They want to do Baron, and I'm kind of cool with that. The thing is, I want to level up first because I have a bigger smite. Problem is, I fall just a little short, which really sucks. Plus, by leveling up, you have to remember you have a bigger shield, too. So right there I used my redemption, that way I could heal them. It does give them the Ardent sensor boost. I was kind of hoping for an assist also, or just anything to give me that last bit of EXP I need. So as a result, I'll take the enemy Wolfgam. So I'm not entirely sure why Leona aggroed that, since I was just going to insta-give it, but there we go. I now have the shield maxed, and we can go a few different places. It's really up to us. Thing is, Syndra did get herself killed, and then Jarvan's trying to make a getaway. So right here I drop Daisy to try to help him out. You can see he goes down. Yasuo lives barely. And since I didn't shield Jinx, I do not actually get an assist, and here she dies to Renekton. So I guess she didn't know she was ignited, which reduces the healing on her heal. As such, she does burn a summoner spell and still die. And right there I'm telling them, guys, you're throwing. You have no business being there, we have nothing to gain, we only have crap to lose, and for some reason we're there. So yeah, we traded 3 people for 2 of them. Granted, one was Vayne. The thing is, we could have went 0 for 0 and been just as well off. Actually, better well off.
No.
So right there I have the red buff, and like I told you about Syndra having red, it slows them down so she can land her skill shots easier. That's the main reason why she'd want it. As for why I would not give that to Jinx right now, she refuses to group. So giving that to her is just throwing the buff away. It may sound harsh, but the thing is, sooner or later, people have to realize this is a team game. If you don't play as a team, you're wasting your time. So I take a lot of damage from Baron there, unfortunately. And here we go. So I mainly am shielding Jarvan here because he's the one tanking it. It's going to give him healing and make it so that he doesn't get as low, even though he is an AD assassin, you have to remember. So keep in mind, he should not be as healthy as he is right now after doing all the tanking there. Like, that's one of the reasons why Ardent Sensor is really so busted. So anyway, right here I managed to cut off Zyra. We do get her E, but that doesn't really matter because it's not really a major cooldown or anything. So right here, at long last, we have finally grouped up and are doing our siege. So here's when I want to actually give the stuff to Jinx. She is running the Renown's Hurricane, so she does have a AoE clear. She can basically just nuke the wave that much more quickly. Plus Jarvan is sitting over the wall looking for a sucker to jump. So right there by Old's Jinx, I drop my shield, I send Daisy over. And right here I'm just doing everything I can to protect Jinx. And as a result it gets her, guess what? One more, Jinx. You missed! But since Renekton's such a good sport, he comes on out. So I make sure to give Jinx the shield so she doesn't get killed by Renekton this time. There you go. So keep in mind for Ignite users, shields troll the hell out of them because it gives them health that isn't reduced or anything. It just basically shaves off a lot of the damage to Ignite. So by putting that up there, even if he ignited her, it wasn't really going to do much for him, I'm afraid. So I didn't notice that they surrendered. As a result, I do skip the coveted double explosion, and I'm not really dancing on their base, so it's like a double fail. Give this to Jinx when she got the pentakill at the end. Even though you might... There's definitely a case to give it to Jarvan. So I got an honor myself. Only an A rank since I died a lot. People made some questionable decisions, and I tried to save them. And you can see I outdamaged Leona, but that's not really saying much. In terms of damage taken, even though I'm so squishy, I was actually pretty high up there. But anyway, that's Ivern for you guys. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.